Yeah, not the truck you're thinking of.
Probably gonna have to.
Howdy, howdy. We are gonna be working on the Dakota again today in preparation of our New Year's run. And today, we're gonna be finally putting some backup lights on the truck. Went down to the old place I used to work, Vision X, and these will work great for some backup lights. I think what I'm gonna do is, I have this sheet right here, and we're gonna use this sheet, measure out a plate that will form fit around where the taillight used to be. So I'm gonna have to give this a little bit of love to get this all straightened back out, and probably cut this open a little bit more and make a nice little plate. Cut a hole here because I'm gonna put one light in the back and then one light on the side, and then we can run our harnesses as well. So I'm gonna start taking some measurements and we're gonna get some backup lights on the truck. All right, so a little bit of a change of plan. I'm not gonna be doing a full bracket necessarily, but I made 4 of these tabs, and yes, I know the hole's not centered because this is made out of a flat bracket that already had holes in it. So I've made 4 of these. I'm gonna end up welding these tabs on, and the light will be able to mount there, and one down here on both sides. And then I'll probably do some kind of strapping or something to be able to make some kind of cage, because this passenger side has gotten hit a lot worse, and I just don't want to slide off and buckle this and just rip the lights off. So I'll probably be putting some kind of bracing in here just in case if I smack this corner hard. It will at least save the lights. I'm not too worried about the bed, it's already been destroyed. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount these guys up, see where I want them, and then I'll weld these tabs in place. Then we can go ahead and paint all this stuff, and while the paint's drying, we can run the harnesses that we got. We've got the lights mocked up in here, the brackets painted, and yes, this isn't like the most fabulous setup for lights, but I want one going back and then one shooting to the side. I have the other side set up a little bit. The gaps are a little bit different. I didn't exactly measure, but you know, they're just lights. It's not that big of a deal. The biggest thing is going to be running the harness, because these harnesses aren't long enough to run all the way to the back. They're a dual harness, so they have 2 separate leads, and I'm probably just going to use one and then run one lead to each side and make what we used to call them, they're called a DY2 M1F. So they basically hook both the plugs for the lights together into one plug. So I'm gonna have to make myself something like that, and I'll have the other harness as a spare, and for spare relays and stuff. But now we can go ahead and start wiring and get this thing going. And I'll show you guys how I wire this, because I have my own little fancy box under the hood. I'm gonna need to interrupt this somewhat regularly scheduled program of working on the Dakota, because I've had something else come up. Yeah. But not the truck you're thinking of. It's my Ram. So I've been having some issues with the rear end locking up and unlocking. Like, I'll move forward and the rear tires will lock and then unlock. And a few things that I found out is the rear diff fluid had a lot of metal shavings, so I've checked all the bearings and everything looks good. But I did find out that the pads on the inside for the e-brake that run on the inside of the drum fell off and were just sliding in here. So my theory is that they were just getting caught, and you can see they've been getting chewed up on this edge right here. So I'm going to hope that that is all it's going to be. I have all my new parts. I'm putting new rotors, all the new e-brake stuff on it. some new fluid, cleaning up the rear diff, and then we'll throw the diff back in, throw the cover back on, and we're gonna go for a test drive, and hopefully that's all it is. And then we'll get right back on the Dakota and finish up the wiring for the backup lights. It's always something, every time. Well, the ram seems fixed. It's all back together. Went and did a few burnouts, and she didn't break, so that means she's good. I'm gonna drive it a little bit more during the week to make sure, but we're gonna get back on the Dakota and we're gonna go ahead and finish wiring these lights. So I'm gonna make myself kind of a custom harness out of the harnesses that I have, and I'll show you guys kind of how I'm gonna go about doing that. So I've made my own little pigtail that runs from one side to the other, and I have it ran down here. I still have to tuck everything up nicely, but I've got it run down the frame and a wire lead up right here. So now I gotta decide if I'm going to run it up into my box right here like I probably should. So I gotta figure out if I want to do that, but like I said, I probably should, so probably gonna have to. So I need to pull this box off and throw some pins and some wire leads in there, and we'll get this thing done. Backup lights are all wired up, and I have my switch ran into the cab, and I gotta drill my hole. I'm gonna make a new panel eventually, but I'm gonna drill a hole and set my switch right in there, and we should be good to go on that. But the next thing is I need to clean up all the power and grounds, because you can see this one is, my terminal's cracking, and I've got some new terminals picked up from Napa, and I've got these two terminals, a little bit heavier duty, and they got posts so I can set all of my wires on top instead of just clamping them to the back. Got everything wired up, got all my new ends on and soldered on everything. All my grounds are good, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. This is a box out of 90s Ford Ranger, and it's a pretty simple straight box, and it comes with some posts that it rests on. So this is kind of like the best bang for your buck if you go to any junkyard and you just need a little bit of extra space. It'll hold up to 6 relays and a whole bunch of fuses, and it's pretty simple to wire. When you pull it out of the Ford Ranger, just keep all the wire leads inside of the box, because you'll use those as jumpers underneath to jump your relays and your fuses together, and then you can run your switches out. And all the main powers run off of one lead right here straight to the back of this box. So I have my backup lights on this relay and this fuse right here, so it's pretty simple to work. And all of your leads come out of the backside, and you can run all of your grounds to one spot and run your powers in and run your switches straight to the back of the box. And like I said, I got these posts from Napa, and these are definitely a lot beefier than the ones I had on here before. So all of my powers fit on this post, but I don't have a whole lot of thread engagement. So I might end up moving my power for the winch and just getting a longer bolt like I had before. But we're gonna test this out and see how this works first. But everything's on there and we are ready to go for New Year's. The backup lights are on, wired up, and all the wires are nicely tucked up. So everything else is good to go. And one other thing I got myself a little pot for cooking, and these are meant for snowmobiles. I actually saw it on John Martin's channel, and they're supposed to be mounted onto the exhaust, but I don't have a good spot. We're gonna test it here for now and see how it works. But if it doesn't end up working very well, we'll find a better solution for that, whether I put it down below or something. But that's the best spot that I have, at least for right now. So we're gonna try it and see if we can't cook some taquitos New Year's night. That's gonna be everything for this video. We are gonna get ready and head out to the snow for New Year's. So hopefully you guys all have a good New Year's, and hopefully our night goes as planned. So Happy New Year's to everybody watching this video. And as always, stay off-road.
Start it up.